will share our love and respect for the nature. And we are very happy that you came and joined us, because I think you know that's why you are here, but you will see that nature, Mother Earth, she really needs the healing light and love of Baba. And we are instruments that can share love and light of Baba with all living creatures and all elements of the nature. So today we would like to offer some exploration, going deeper in different aspects related to biodiversity, to land regeneration, to water conservation, to clean energy, to pure food. And then we will have also some very interesting experiments. And we will also experience how we can serve the nature. And this all is an offer for all of you to get more engaged in this service. Because the call of the time is now. Now really the earth is crying. So this session is offered to you by three of us. We have prepared various things, and we have also invited two more speakers, experienced BKs who will share their work. But I will start with us. So maybe I would like to ask Tamasin to introduce yourself, please.
Om Shanti. So my name is Tamasin. I'm BK from Australia. And my interest in animals and nature has been since childhood. And since then, as Baba talks about the elements, I've felt the urgency, you know, when Baba says, can you hear the call of nature? Can you hear the call of the elements? And I feel it's very aligned with my spiritual path. By background, I've been a paramedic, an anthropologist, and one of the things I look at as an anthropologist is the relationship between humans and nature, and humans and non-humans as well. So I'm very interested. Thank you for being here.
Om Shanti. So I'm very happy to be here to offer some of the maybe research work I've been doing regarding showing that the vibrations of one's thoughts actually impact on the elements of matter. Baba says this all the time. And I'm in a space where I can do research to try and show whether this is actually the case or not. I'm a civil engineer specializing in water resources, and a lot of water is used for irrigation. So if you can use that water more efficiently, for instance, by approaches like yogic farming, where you're obtaining more crop with the same resources or with less resources, then that would make a practical impact. So coming from that side, I've been doing a bit of work, a bit of research in this area, and that's one of the main things I'll be sharing, in addition to other things. Om Shanti.
Thank you. And my name is Aneta, and I'm also happy to be here. And I'm here because I feel it's my privilege and my honor to be Baba's instrument to serve the nature. For 10 years I've been serving in India One solar thermal power plant in Shantivan, and recently I also got different chances to do service at UN platforms, and we will also speak about it a little bit later on. So now I think I just would like to invite you to participate in this session. Open your hearts and open your minds. As Sister Jayanti says, this green service is actually for us to re-emerge the sanskaras of love and respect for the nature. And we see that these sanskaras will stay with us till the end of the Kalpa. And also this service is really what Baba would like us to do, to become images of support for human souls and for the nature. So the nature also can get purified through our pure vision and elevated actions. And then through this, others get inspired and they will ask, wow, how come you are like this? How come you can do this? And then they will also get closer to Baba. So I feel very honored and privileged to be part of this team. And our program is quite packed, as you will see, because we were very enthusiastic to share many, many things. So let us see how it goes, and we are flexible to adjust. But before we start, I would like you to take just half a minute to reflect for yourself why you are here, how you would like to take benefit from this session. Because when we make objective and aim clear, then we can take more benefit, isn't it? So please just spend half a minute and think for yourself, why have you come here? Om Shanti, thank you. We are here to serve the nature. And actually we should be outside, isn't it? Not inside. But we have some plants. This is our...
This is our Daddy Sunflower.
That is Sunflower. Please meet her. Very beautiful, very dignified. But okay, we are not outside, still we are here, and we would like to bring some ideas or some feelings of the nature, different elements, because not often we think how nature thinks or how water feels, how the flower feels. So now we will offer you this kind of perspective to start with.
Some call me nature.
And can we turn off the light?
Others call me Mother Nature. I've been here for over 4.5 billion years. 22,500 times longer than you. I don't really need people, but people need me. Yes, your future depends on me. When I thrive, you thrive. When I falter, you falter. Or worse. But I've been here for eons. I have fed species greater than you, and I have starved species greater than you. My oceans, my soil, my flowing streams, my forests, they all can take you or leave you. How you choose to live each day, whether you regard or disregard me, doesn't really matter to me. One way or the other. Your actions will determine your fate, not mine. I am nature. I will go on. I am prepared to evolve. Are you?
This is Mother Nature, how she feels. What do you feel? Now let's see. No, you can keep the slide down, yes. Now let's see what the soil thinks about us, humans.
I am the soil. I am in the hills and in the valleys, the farms, the orchards. Without me, humans could not exist. But you treat me like dirt. Do you realize that I am just a thin skin on this planet? And that I'm actually alive, full of organisms that grow your food? But I am broken, aching, overused, sick, because of you. You have withered me away to less than half of what I used to be just over 100 years ago. Are you paying attention? I am turning to dust. So maybe you could treat me with a little more respect. I suppose you still want to eat, right?
Soil is asking us whether we could treat her with a little bit more respect if we want to eat. Can we? Gee. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I think this is something what we can't fix now, can we?
I suppose the summary of that soil was that soil is alive and is under our feet and is responsible for feeding us, yet we pollute it, we disregard it, we speak about earth like it is dirt, but we need to treat soil with respect because through the soil we receive our food.
Thank you. Okay. So let's listen to water.
And where will humans find me when there are many more billions of them? And will people wage war over me, water?
Thank you. And they will. The UN states that actually in the future or even now, lack of water is one of the main reasons of wars that are started.
And actually Baba said in a Murli, Aviyakt Murli in the 80s, he said, you won't be able to get a glass of water with a gold ring.
Yes.
Such will be the time.
Yes. And one more, flower. Okay.
I am a flower. Yes, I'm beautiful. I've heard it before, and it never grows old. I'm worshipped for my looks, my scent, my looks. But here's the thing. Life starts with me. You see, I feed people. Every fruit comes from me. Every potato, me. Every kernel of corn, me. Every grain of rice, me. Me. I know, but it's true. And sometimes I feed their souls. I am their words when they have none. I say I love you without a sound. I'm sorry without a voice. I inspire the greatest of them. Painters, poets, pattern makers. I've been amused to them all. But in my experience, people underestimate the power of a pretty little flower. Because their life does start with me. And it could end without me.
So that was about the flower, worshipped for her looks, but yet she is responsible for food. She brings happiness. It was complex. It was hard.
Me. everything
Yeah,
comes
everything was
from
about
me.
That's right. Everything's about me.
And then you take me for granted. But your life starts with me, and it can end with me, finish.
Every fruit, every grain, every vegetable, there's a flower, begins with a flower in its life cycle.
I don't know about you, but when I saw this for the first time, I was really very much moved. Because we never think from their perspective. And of course we cannot hear, but we can feel if we tune to the vibrations. And we will do some experiments later on also. So now we have a quiz for you. Okay, are you ready to answer some questions? So let's see how well we know our Mother Nature and the current state of it. You cannot see it very well, right? I will read it out, or Tamasin will read it out. Maybe you can
How many
hear.
Earths... Oh yeah, it's
Come
not so
here.
clear.
No, totally not. I have a mic.
Oh, you do.
Okay, I do. So the first question is, how many Earths do we have? This is a very easy question. How many Earths, planets, Earths do we have? How many? One. One Baba, one planet. Okay. So the question is, how many Earths do we need to regenerate the resources we are currently using? How many Earths do we need to regenerate the resources we are using, like in 1 year? How many Earths do we need so whatever we use will be regenerated and also the waste will be absorbed? 3. But we have only 1. How can we have 3, right? Okay. Not 3, but 1.8. 3, if we lived like people in Poland, for example, or maybe if everyone in the whole world would live like people in the United States, we would need more than 5 planets Earth. If everyone would live like people in India, we would need 0.8. But we know that India is a developing country. So currently, globally, we need 1.8 Earths to regenerate the resources that we are using and to absorb the waste. So how is it possible? How is it possible? It means we live on the credit. And who will pay this credit? Next question. How much of the world's coral reefs have been lost in the last 30 years? In the last 30 years, how many coral reefs have been lost? And coral reef is very important. I think Tamasin knows much more about it, coming from Australia maybe. But coral reefs are nursery for fish. Like 25% of all fish come from these coral reefs. So, how many have been degraded in the last 30 years? What is the percentage? What do you think? You are very pessimistic, but it's 50%, okay? 50%, which is huge anyway, and it's growing. Okay, next question. How many plants and animals are threatened with extinction? How many species of plants and animals are threatened with extinction? 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. 1 million. Huge, right? And already many have gone extinct. And many are on the red list. Mostly due to loss of habitat. Mostly due to current agricultural processes.
I just wanted to mention koalas that are famous in Australia, they're now endangered because their habitat has been destroyed for animal farming. So, yeah.
Okay. How much have the population of wildlife declined in the last 50 years? You know, in our lifetime, how much of the wildlife population have declined in percentage? What do you think? 69%. Can you imagine? Just in 50 years, 69% of population of wildlife has disappeared from this earth. Again, because of whom? One species, or how you say? Yeah. Okay, this is very interesting. What is the distribution of mammals on Earth? Mammals, animals. So there is the category of wild animals, livestock, and humans. Okay? So is it A, like 45%, 35, 20, B or C? So how much wild animals in percentage do you think are there in the world today from all mammals, all mammals? How much? Including human beings, livestock. How much? Yeah, it is C. But would you say it is C? Only 4% of all mammals in the whole world are wild animals. Mostly this is livestock. It means cows, pigs, and chicken, of course, is not a mammal, so it's not included here. If we included chicken, then there would be nothing for wild animals in terms of population. And human beings, 34%. This is measured in biomass, tons of carbon, but okay. Sorry? It means in terms of it means that wild animals are really very little, right? That livestock is actually taking over the animal kingdom, right?
I think one of the things is that unless we can make profit, we don't think that something is valuable in this world. So wild animals really don't make money. So they're often considered a nuisance. In Australia, it's a bit like this, and their habitat is destroyed so we can have farms for sheep and pigs and cows to feed people. And wild animals are getting less because of that regard, because they can't be monetized. We can't make a profit from them.
Okay, last question. You know, we are facing global warming, climate change. So we produce too much heat because of using fossil fuels for different things, power generation, but also we generate different greenhouse gases in other activities. So this heat that we human beings generate, how much of this excess heat has the ocean absorbed so far? What do you think? How much of this extra heat has ocean absorbed? 40, 70, 90%? 90%. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the state of the ocean that becomes like a hot soup? Yeah, hot bath. It is devastating for all life in the ocean. Okay, so these are just few examples to see where we live and what we created out of this earth, which is our mother for the bodies. So this is the list with the different UN bodies that try to tackle all these different things from climate change point of view, biodiversity loss point of view, land degradation point of view, food security point of view. They all meet and discuss, and we participate in these discussions also. We come and we speak about mind and matter, confluence of two systems, about living in harmony, about consciousness and climate change, about flourishing future. So, but we know where the world goes. For us, this is a platform to share Baba's knowledge in a relevant, very relevant way. So souls can take benefit, they can transform, and also we can serve the nature in this way. So now I would like to ask Tamasin to share fragments from Baba's Murli, what Baba has said about serving the nature.
Baba spoke last night about the tree, us as the ancestors being the roots of the tree, And he said the roots have a connection with every part of the tree, the twigs, the branches, the leaves, the flowers. And that's true with us as ancestors, but also true of the tree. The other day, Baba says the Father gives bliss to the whole world, including the elements. Bliss means mercy. The unmatchable beauty in Satyug is reserved for you exceptionally high souls, because you are the ones who have served nature, and you are the ones who have been kind to nature. You have been with nature through the entire drama, and now nature plays her very good part until the end. You high and rare souls are the masters of nature. You understand nature and come into positive relationship with her. As the self-sovereign ancestor souls, you are happy on seeing the games of nature. Whether nature fluctuates dramatically or shows you soft and beautiful forms, you observe both of these games, and while seeing everything, you remain beyond their influence. In your kingdom of truth, all of the elements will constantly do and be as you wish them to do and be. But you must now make this old world new. For this, you must serve nature and all living beings now with great humility and care. The service done now frees you from having to serve for birth after birth. As a result of your living lightly and gently amongst nature now, and among all other living beings, the elements and other life forms will accompany you as friends throughout time. From the Golden Age onwards, they will be there with you and for you in the ways that you wish them to be, when you wish them to be. This is because of your service, your humility, and your kindness in the Confluence Age.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Tamasin. So let us go to the first theme we would like to discuss and explore today, which is biodiversity. Biodiversity is the variety of life on the earth. These are all different forms of life: animals, plants, fungi, microorganisms, and they all live together in ecosystems that create life and sustain life. So the food we have, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the shelter we have, is all thanks to this wonderful biodiversity. So as the Brahma Kumaris, we also participate in UN conference which is dedicated to restoring the biodiversity. Biodiversity means biological diversity. And we participated in the last one in Montreal in last year, December. And our main theme was awakening a flourishing future. And our message was that this awakening can happen only from inside out. That inside we have the power, we have the resources to make it happen. And then what is very important is to realize all and recognize all different relationships with all rights and responsibilities. And what we proposed a concept of ecosynthesis. Ecosynthesis as the holistic approach towards anything. Ecosynthesis is the way to reconnect with myself spiritually, then with others, with divine, with nature. So everything is included. We cannot take out anything from this equation. So this is ecosynthesis, a very holistic approach. And now I would like to ask Sister Priyanka to come and share with us her beautiful work exactly in this area. Because during these 3 hours that we are spending together, we are going to speak about the subtle way of serving the nature, but also about some physical, specific, concrete projects that Brahma Kumaris has been doing. So Priyanka, Sister Priyanka, please come. You can sit here, okay? So Sister Priyanka has a background in agriculture and she's a wonderful sister. Right now, one of her activities is outreach project to regenerate villages. So in Brahma Kumaris, we have a new concept of building models of golden-aged villages. So Sister Priyanka has, together with her team, has adopted few of such villages in Kutch, area of Kutch in Gujarat, and she has been transforming them. And she will share with us the results of her work.
Om Shanti. Now we are here at different terrain. We are in the mountains. Now we want to take you to a different terrain. Video. Yeah. Kutch is the biggest district in India, and which is also a driest place or driest district in all over the world, and which is bigger than the 125 countries in the world. It's like the geographical area of this place is more, but the situation is critical here, like some African countries. So you can see how we can shape this spiral of erosion with some sweet spots, and we can convert this spiral of erosion with our love, care, respect, our vibration, our consciousness into the spiral of abundance. And we can define the golden age in one word like abundance, and also one word like love. So we can see, and you can tour this amazing place, how the soil regenerate, how the soul regenerate, and how the abundance is bring in the system. So, this is the story of only 8 months when we started working in the Kutch last February 10, 2022. And the land is fully barren, and it's not only the land, but the souls are there going through lots of sufferings. So the landscape and so the animals over there. The grassland is one of the degenerated ecosystem over there, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of hectare land can't feed the 10 cows. It's the big thing over there. So initially we went there for just preparing one model of food forest. So different 8 to 10 layers of forest we want to mimic at that place by channelizing the energy of soil, energy of water, and create a lush, flourishing food forest by choosing the native species of that place and to make that space a home for us, home for insects, birds, and everyone. So we are homemakers over there. So this is the concept of eco-village. Generally in the world, the people start co-housing and start building new villages with their values and concepts. But we went in the village which are existing on this beautiful planet, and we are simply adding the spices which are missing in this dish. We can say how to make it more delicious. So we just adding 3 values: love, care, respect, and we are based on the interconnectedness. And the whole thing, regeneration is impossible without the well-being and education. So we are there to educate and help the people how to heal themselves, how to heal our landscape, and ultimately how to heal the planet. So let's see. So this is the mission. The vision is creating, it's like a co-creating the resilient, abundant, and value-based society or value-based communities who are living with harmony with nature. It's our inner nature and then outer nature. And the mission is like building such a sustainable communities which are by educating the people how to heal their landscapes and creating the abundance and how to cope up with any uncertainty or any climatic challenges with holistic approach. And the values I already mentioned, we are based on 3 values: love, care, and respect. So this is our beautiful team which is engaged in Kutch, which is beautiful hearts and mind behind all these stories. And what we did in last 1 year, we completed 1 year, like we reached up to 3 villages. Now it's more than 3. Now lots of more than 50 villages come to us. They want to regenerate their villages with our principles. We are mainly focusing on the grasslands. I already mentioned the grassland is the very vulnerable ecosystem right now, but it's a only very resilient ecosystem on the planet, is having capacity in tons and tons time. So we are working on grassland, food forest, kitchen garden for every single village and for every single home. We are giving some perennial nutritious vegetable through the kitchen garden program. And community garden is a space where all the community, means it's not irrespective of age, caste and gender, they can come together at the place where they can grow their own vegetables, spices, fruits. And we started first model at a small village of having only 95 people over there. It's a really very small, but it's really nice to start with small village and slow and small initiative, and then we can replicate in number of village according to the challenges. And we planted very minimal number is like 307, matlab 3,733 plants. But right now I am here, but the team is today also planting some trees with love. So for us, eco village is the harmony. Eco village is the beautiful world we can imagine. The Baba used to tell us the golden age, how it is based on the peace, how it's based on the happiness and love. So we just are seeding the we are growing the seeds or sowing the seeds of hope in every individual's mind, how we can co-create this place which we are sharing with others more beautiful, and which it's already used to be that beautiful place. So we just are giving the vision of that world, and the souls used to resonate with that frequency, because the youths having the energy, they are coming with they don't used to satisfy with corporate jobs, they want to serve in communities at grassroots level. And that's why our team is growing more and more with like-minded and highly resonating souls. And we are creating the eco. For me, eco is like ECHO, to herd the eco of Mother Nature. As we heard the ecos of nature, water, soil, flower, so similarly herd each and every subtle eco with our consciousness and respond to that eco in the form of the eco village. So some impact sectors are like grassland, watershed development, because there is no water. The area having only 170 rainfall. So we are working on water harvesting structures over there, the soil regeneration. When we regenerate the soil, it holds 7 times more water than the water flowing in the rivers. Food forest, the kitchen gardens, community gardens, wastewater management is the key principle, because the daily we producing the grey water, and we are growing the gardens on that grey water. And capacity building is very essential, and the key part like for soul regeneration. Without that, whatever you build, it's then again turn into different things. So these are some stories how women participate in the village going activities, and how we can find the wild food from the grasslands or from the forest, because we are unaware of their nutritional values, or we lost in agriculture sector, in agrobiodiversity. Earlier we have 30,000 of species to eat, but now our plate is dominant with only 3 species of grain and 1 potato. So how we can make colorful plate again? So that's the vision behind all these gardens and food forests. And we are teaching them how we all are connected, and how we can build a creative spaces from we get maximum production, but in the relationship with respect and love. So biodiversity, as we all know, when we add the plant community, something happen in the nature. It attracts. It's like a life attracts other lives, and all this circle is connected. So all these species started coming. Even our pond, means we prepare pond, other water bodies. Migratory birds visited for the first time of that village. After creating that ponds and all other ecosystem. These are the things, and how we can live together with cooperation, and how it's essential. And somewhere the reason is deep-rooted in our arrogance and ignorance. We are the superior, or we don't need the nature. We can get the food from malls, and people also don't know food from where food come. But and who really feed us? It's not only the farmer. It's a single microbe and it's a single bee and it's a single spider, and everything in that link is really very essential. And some shocking facts we already saw in the quiz, and the same facts here. We lost almost we can say 65% of agricultural biodiversity, and much more the all other biodiversities. Here there is the possibility we lost 90% of reefs up to 2050. So it's really challenging. And the village Bharapar, where we are working, their population is only 95 people. The population of peacock is 6,000. So we are enjoying daily with peacocks. It's like for us, the Satyuga is started over there. And these are some wildflowers, and this is the story. Earlier the grassland is fully barren, and they gifted us ki whatever you want to do, you have to do on this piece of land where nothing can be grown. And within one season, and luckily it's due to God's grace and blessings of elders, this year we have huge rainfall, and all our water structures filled with full of water, and everyone in the village challenged us, you are the small kids, what you guys do, and from this land nothing can grow. And we grow this grass, so sorry, not we grow, but the nature flourished itself by some simple interventions. And first principle to work with nature: just don't do anything. Just go and be there. With your presence, things started happen. And just observe how minimal interventions can help the landscape over there for their healing. So we simply added some seeds and some water structures, and then it becomes like this. And then it offered home for more than 22 species of butterflies within a season. 10 species of butterflies, 60 to 75 species of birds, and more than actually 134 species of grasses revived within one season. And all over the grassland, it's full of praying mantis. It's one of our favorite insects. And that is about the ecological restoration. Few things in agroecological intervention, like a cover crop. These cover crops is grown on only, it's only on dew fed. In Kutch, there is nothing happens, it's there in head. But we put the seeds and they started growing on only dew. And this is the scenario. And the people in Kutch and in the villages, they are mostly elder, 70, 75, 80, and they planted whole community garden over there. And now they know how to stop the water, how to use the water, and they used to teach their kids or other village farmers ki how we can use small intervention to flourish our village and make it more self-reliant and self-sufficient, so that we don't need any other things from outside the village. So this is the 75-year-old farmer who want to make his farm as a model for all over the world. People can come there and see the diversity in his land. So he initiated 7 layers of forest in his land. His Baba's child. He is practicing Raj Yoga meditation from last 40 years. So we added some garden system interventions, like a small piece of 5 to 6 feet, we can grow more than 30 species of herbs, which are essential for going beyond the senses, also refresh and relish yourself. So these are all the village peoples where we started work at first time. And thank you. This is our story, which is based on our love. And we got lots of blessings from our elders. And we got the beautiful team which resonate with Mother Nature. And we can resonate with each other. And we are learning from Mother Nature daily. And we are trying how we can heal more betterly. Thank you. Are you enjoyed? Thank you.
Yes, it was so wonderful, very inspiring, very practical actions, and beautiful combination of the inner values with outside results. Very beautiful. Congratulations, and yes, we are with you. All our blessings and whatever help you need. Thank you. No, you took just the right time. Thank you so much. Now I would like to share with you one more project, which is about creating biodiversity. And you may have heard about it. It's called Kalp Taruch, and it's about more than planting trees. It's about planting trees with love and care, and then taking care of them till the end, because it's not just a matter of planting the tree, but then caring for it. And the idea is that for one planet, one person will plant one tree. So this is the uniqueness of this project, that actually every person should plant at least a tree. So I will share it in the form of a small video, so you can get to know more about it. And if you are interested, again, there is a lot of information and everyone can join this beautiful initiative. So far 30 countries have been involved. More than 3,000 awareness events happened. And whatever we do on the basis of our values. One person, one plant for one planet. 1.6 million people planted 1.6 million trees. I think now more, because this was updated in November. And there is a special app created. You can all download this app. It's very informative and very inspiring app. And there are different languages in this app, and you can add yours if you would like to. And many dignitaries, many VIPs have been included in this campaign, including Prime Minister Modi and recently Madam President, who also planted a tree in this campaign. And of course our seniors. So many activities have happened in different outreach areas to reconnect with nature, to relive in harmony with nature. All different types of colleges, schools. Planting trees is a nice door opener for any environmental activities, and then spiritual follow-up. Okay, so I think that was a very quick update. And I really recommend you to look at this app. It's very beautifully made, very informative and being updated. There is also a lot of beautiful sharing from seniors and meditations. And you can register the tree that you planted. And before you plant it, it will tell you, the app will tell you what kind of tree you should plant in your area, when, how, and then how to take care of it. It's very good. And the last thing in this session, I would like to speak about a project which is called the Great Green Wall. And the Great Green Wall, it's not a Brahma Kumari project. It's a project of African Union and United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. And it's a project which aims at restoring ecosystem along the Sahel region in Africa, so at the south edge of Sahara region. This is a region which is one of the poorest regions in the whole world, and ecosystem there has been degraded a lot. And there is a lot of consequences of that, social, political. There is a lot of unrest, a lot of conflicts over food and water. So now there is this beautiful project going on, which is a very challenging one, but people keep their enthusiasm and they keep going on. So when we participated in this UN CCD conferences that look at how to combat desertification, we learned about this project and we really liked it, and we thought how we can support it. And the best way to support it is with our spiritual power, our love, our respect. So we have created an initiative which is called Peace Drops for the Great Green Wall. And the beauty of this initiative is that everyone can join. Every month we have special programs where we choose different values which are relevant to this project, and we create special meditations and sharings by our seniors. So you can also join, and we all can send Baba's vibrations, Baba's love and power to those souls who work in this project and also to the ecosystem itself. So now I would like you to see one example of this kind of meditation that we do and join us, so together we can share our gratitude for the Great Green Wall. The first one is a short introduction, invitation to join the initiative. It's time to make a difference. And this is for people outside, right? For so-called low-kick people, as we say. So let's join before it's too late. To inspire meaningful changes in our environment and communities, we need the right mindset. Meditation builds our inner strength to overcome all obstacles. And like water drops, its ripples span far and wide. Drops of peace. Peace drops for the Great Green Wall. And now let's have meditation for the Great Green Wall. And in this meditation we focus on gratitude.
Gratitude. What am I grateful for when I reflect on the Great Green Wall?
What am I grateful for?
A world.
Growing a world wonder.
The Great Green Wall is taking root in Africa's Sahel region.
It's taking roots in the Sahel
southern
region,
edge of the Sahara Desert, one of the poorest places.
It's one of the poorest
planet.
places in the world.
Millions of people there are already facing the devastating impact of climate change.
Millions of people are facing the
Persistent droughts,
climate change consequences, droughts, lack of food,
conflicts over
conflicts,
exhausting natural resources, and mass migration are just some of the many consequences. The Great Green Wall is about much more than growing trees.
It's much more than growing trees.
It's about improving millions of
It's
lives.
improving lives of millions
Yes.
of people.
Growing fertile land,
Fertile
which
land,
is one of humanity's most precious natural assets. It is growing biodiversity,
growing biodiversity,
to bring life degraded ecosystem.
to the desert.
It is growing a wall of hope.
It's a growing wall of hope for so many people.
It is growing food security for the
Food
millions
security
that go hungry
for
every day.
millions who are hungry every day.
It is growing green jobs, giving real incomes to families
Green jobs.
across the Sahel. It is growing a reason to stay,
It's growing a
to
reason
help
to
break
stay.
the cycle of migration. What do I feel? I feel a lot of appreciation
I feel a lot of
for
appreciation
those people suffering
for
due
those
to
people.
climate change, and I am grateful for their dignity,
I'm grateful
courage,
for their
and
dignity,
resilience.
courage, resilience.
I am sending from my heart my
So
love
from my heart I
and
send
my inner
love
power to them.
to empower them.
My heart is full of gratitude for people who are involved
I'm
and
grateful
committed
for people who are
to this
engaged
wonder,
in this project,
who are engaged in a mosaic of initiatives, for their inspiration,
grateful for
perseverance,
their
and
inspiration, perseverance,
enthusiasm,
and
for
enthusiasm,
facing all obstacles, bouncing back, and moving forward, no matter what. I am sending my feelings of respect to them
I'm
and
sending my respect
good
to them
wishes for their continued efforts.
and good wishes for their success.
Nature, the one that never gives
Nature.
up, always is ready to heal and return
Never
to
gives up.
harmony.
Always ready to heal
We only allow her
if
to
we
do it.
only allow her
I
to do
am
it.
deeply grateful for nature's selflessness,
Selflessness,
and
unlimitedness,
abundance.
and abundance
I can see
of
the
nature.
flourishing ecosystem across the Sahel region, bringing health, wealth, and happiness to all the people. And finally, I am grateful for myself,
And I'm also grateful for myself,
that I can hear the call of time.
that I can
I
hear
recognize the
the
need
call of time,
to act,
recognize the need
and I have
to
the
act.
inner power and motivation
I
to
have
do it.
inner power, motivation,
I have a connection
I have
with the divine
a
light,
connection with the divine light,
spreading the rays of hope
spreading
and
the
love
rays of hope
to
and
all
love
living beings, the land, the plants, all animals of the Sahel region. Gratitude is the
Gratitude
greatest power to make the
is
impossible
the greatest
possible,
power to make the impossible
To grow.
possible,
the great wonder.
to grow the great wonder. Please join us every second Sunday of each month. We have a new program, and it is for all of us to become part of this great green wonder. Okay, Om Shanti. So this way we have finished the first important area, the biodiversity. And now I would like to invite Ndiritu and also Tamasin, and they will lead us through the next theme, which is subtle agroecology, and they will explain what it means.
Om Shanti. Okay, so this is the second part, I think the beginning of the second part of our presentation. So we are talking about Sato agroecology. And maybe the first thing is to find out what is agroecology. And I know the previous presentation talked about that, So it is, so you know that farming or commercial farming, industrial farming has brought so much of imbalance in nature. So agroecology is like a method of dealing with this, where we get as holistic as we can do in order to try to ensure that agriculture is much more sustainable. And the idea behind it is to then integrate other aspects that are relevant. There are social aspects, the aspects of the biology itself, the actual agricultural sciences, because you need to be practical. But then you also add the knowledge that those who have lived in that region already had. They are growing crops for so long, they know how the conditions are. So a lot of the indigenous knowledge needs to come back into the process of farming, agriculture, and when all of that gets integrated in quite a systematic manner, then we can say we are doing agroecology. And I have this figure here, but the idea is not to go through the details of this, but just to indicate that, there are quite a number of aspects that are connected with agroecology. The social aspects, the ecological aspects and all of that. But how does this connect with what Baba tells us? Because Baba says, serve nature. Baba says the golden age of your pleasure. All these issues won't arise. And Baba says, serve the elements. I think we heard that from the Murlis. I was actually looking for one extract where Baba was specifically talking about farming, but I missed it. So in 2009, Baba was talking about how when you give yoga, even the pests, the crops are more resistant to pests, to diseases. They're much more healthier, but I couldn't locate it before today's presentation. And we know that the Brahma Kumaris has been doing yogic farming for over 15 years now, quite a long time, and especially in India. And I think there are now 2,000 or more farmers who are practicing this. And quite a few studies have been done on yogic farming, even in India and beyond. And what is yogic farming? So organic farming is much more sustainable. But in addition to that, we are saying, let's add positive thoughts, That's where the Baba's energy, the energy of meditation comes in. And what has been found out is that it makes a big impact. Probably in practice, that's why we have 2,000 or more farmers actually already doing it. But in terms of research, that might also help other sectors that we need to serve, because then we have to serve the whole tree. We have to serve the scientists, we have to serve the researchers and all of that. So I happen to be working in a university, so teaching and researching. So I've been doing some experiments to find out how well does this work. Can I show practically, that yogic farming works, that positive thoughts impact on the growth of crops. And this particular website, I think, is one where one can find out so much about yogic farming, anyway, in India especially. So, I'm based in South Africa at this university, the Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, and I've carried out quite a few studies on this, and I'll present one main one, and I'll just mention the results of another one. So you can see these carrots growing in buckets. So we set up some experiment on the roof of the building where I am based. So that's the rooftop of the building, I think the 4th floor. And you can see 100 buckets, so 10 by 10. And we set this up in a manner that one of the buckets, so each bucket contained 8 carrots, and there are 100 buckets. So you're talking about 800 carrots, and it was arranged in this manner, which means a bucket that can be meditated on, and the bucket that you serve as a control are next to each other. That means that the experiment is nicely controlled. One, you not see that one side is hot, one side has more wind, the other side is cold, or whatever it is. All of them are together. And so that's what happened. I was working with 3 students, and this is just, some photos of what was happening as the experiment went on. So what was happening? How was the meditation happening? So I'm based at the center in Soweto, which is down on this end. Soweto BK Center. And the university is about 15 kilometers away. So every morning after Amrit Vela, I used to spend another half hour meditating on 50 of the buckets, which means 400 carrots. And also 20 minutes to actually meditate on the carrots, and another 10 minutes to meditate on the water that was being treated with, for the buckets that were being treated with meditation or meditated on. And an illustration is what I'm showing there. It's not very clear, but you can see, so the red indicates that, you meditate on one diagonal, you skip another diagonal, meditate on the next one. So I'm simply visualizing that. So this is, it's remote, which means I was actually not there being on the rooftop of the building and doing the meditation. It was after Amrit Vela, I spent another half hour doing this, up to when we harvested the crops. And what did we find out? So I did this for 3 months. Yes? Okay, my thoughts. Most of the time it was actually just, sitting as a soul, taking a current of light from Baba, and simply spreading that light to the diagonal. Yes? So I just visualize. I just stand, for instance, on top. For this case, I would be just visualize this diagonal here, that I'm standing on this. Sometimes I'd actually be above it, sometimes on the side of it. But the main thing is this light, this current of light from Baba, spreading to that whole diagonal. That was the main thing that I was doing. And sometimes I was having thoughts that let these crops or these particular carrots be impacted by the highest possible and purest energy that's available in the universe, because that's Baba's energy, the highest energy, the purest energy, the most powerful energy, and let the potential of growth of these crops be enhanced to the highest possible extent. So those were the main kinds of thoughts that I was having. But most of the time it's just the current of light and might. The same way one gives drishti, you say before you start eating, give energy to your food. As simple as that, that sort of thing. But it is focused, and I'm visualizing that I'm skipping one diagonal and going to the rest. So anyway, we went through that process, and we harvested the carrots, and what we found is that the average weight of the carrots that were meditated on was 11% higher. Statistically, it was significant. And actually, even the leaves and the shoots were about 10% higher. And what we also found out is that the nutrition content, most of the constituents, so we took a sample of the carrots to some accredited lab for testing nutrition content, and this is what we found. We found that for most of the constituents, there was a very large increase in nutrition content. It was even evident before we took the carrots to the labs. So I was showing my colleagues, this sample meditated on, the other sample not meditated on, and I was finding out which one do you want to have, some fruit juice, some carrot juice on, or which ones do you want to have. It was clear. It was very clear that these ones are have much more vigor than these other ones. So this was a good experiment showing that, yogic farming works, or this energy of thought works. And the interesting thing is that this was well controlled. It was actually not organic farming in that sense, because we needed to control even the nutrition to each of the buckets. We are using liquid fertilizer so that you can control it was hydroponic, in other words. You can control the quantity of nutrition going to each of the buckets. Okay, that was one experiment. And anyway, some yogic farming results from India. I'm just showing these here. Actually, I find, there are not so many. Lots of farming is happening, but looking for actual, research from universities in India or even beyond is a bit difficult. There are some that have been done anyway, but there are not many of them. And actually, I'm thinking, that's one. If anyone here would be happy to, for us to work in this area, that would be very interesting, because there are so many souls we can serve in this way. The more results we have, there are so many souls we can serve. So anyway, practical yogic farming in India has also realized, quite lots of benefits, as you can see here. So the first one is talking about the percentage increase in what? The percentage increase in yield, and biomass yield and weight and all of that. So it has also been shown to be quite, in practice, results have been obtained in that manner. Okay, I just want to show this, yes? Yes, I don't know the reason for that. A few of them are down, others are up. But if you look at the vertical scale here, the percentages are quite low anyway. Yeah, just about 7, 6, 5. Actually, the ones that are quite significant, practical could be like this one, and these are the 3. Somehow we forgot to take the sugar content. We should also have indicated something. Okay, so the other subtle ecologists who also carry out some research, and this particular one I want to show by. Okay, it's a bit of a distraction here, but it is by two individuals. I know one of them is a prominent researcher in the field of water. He was also a meditator, and they carried out some field experiments used with okra, and this is a bit of the detail. So they had 4 by 5 meter grids, so giving energy to these grids, and then the others acting as controls, and they obtained very large increases in yield from the 2 experiments they carried out, which is quite high. 88%, 121% increase with different levels of extents of meditation. So quite interesting. There are not many results, but they are there. Subtle agroecology is a practical thing. And the good thing is that I think there's no carbon footprint. The other things you're taking care of. You're saying, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're using so much of it. You're either transporting your material, you're producing fertilizer. Even organic farming has to be transported. But when you just think about your thoughts, you're creating this impact. You're also enjoying yourself. You become a better individual because you're meditating. So it's like a whole package, win-win in all sorts of ways. So it's so powerful. It's so unlimited, in a sense. And I think it simply needs to come out more into every field. And that's why more research on this would be very useful. Okay, just a few experiments. I have done some other shorter experiments, and this is where you simply meditate on water, meditate on seeds, and then you grow them in a controlled manner to find the length of your shoot, the length of your root. These are simpler experiments, so they take about 10 days or 20 days or something. So I've carried out a number of these experiments, and what I'm showing here are some basic results. And we find that in most of them, there is an increase in the length of the shoot and the length of the root, and they are very significant. Most of them were statistically significant, so this is again something showing that in reality, when you apply your mind, you apply your thoughts, it makes a big impact on what happens. So I'm thinking we have been asking questions as we have been carrying on, but if anyone else has any comment or questions, you can ask. Yes.
she's asking about the cost difference comparing chemical to non-chemical. I'm just... Oh, sorry, heat. Yeah, come, because the translators as well need to hear. You can use this.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Fantastic work. Really
Thanks.
important because it needs to be scientifically proven. So congratulations. There's something that you mentioned towards the end which I think is very important to include in this information, which is the cost difference. Because when you look at the graph of mind yield and chemical yield, how much money was spent on that chemical? Because we know, not unfortunately, just the way it is at the moment, everything is run by economics. So adding that piece of data would really influence people's decisions as well. Om Shanti, well done.
Yes, thank you. And that's actually what one of my focus areas now is to do that. Find any commercial farmers who might be interested in this. Okay, organic farmers might be easier to to work with because they already, they have that mode of mind, frame of mind. But commercial farmers could also be approached, and the idea would be, how much more how much more you could say profit or whatever it is. Yeah, what difference will it make in terms of your costs ultimately? And that can also be modeled theoretically, but you can also, do it out there. Have an actual field experiment and carry this out. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm done. So, Tamasin, you can carry on.
Well, this is a nice opportunity now that Ndiritu has shown the connection between human thought and human intention and the effect on plants, on different life forms. So, what I'm going to do first, actually, is first of all, there's a couple of things. We know about racism, and we know about sexism, because they're overt forms of body consciousness. But there's also something people are discussing more called speciesism, and this is the idea that somehow humans are exceptional as a species, meaning that we can do what we like to others and to other species, non-human species. But at the same time, there's a growing awareness as more research is done on non-human animals and other species that every time they do an experiment, we find out we are more similar to other species, not less similar. So we share 50% of our DNA with the tree, for instance. The neural complexity of the brain of a bird mirrors the same neural complexity of the human brain. So, and also our bodies, we know that they're made of nature, but we speak about nature sometimes as out there, we want to go out to nature. But, 70% of our bodies are water, and 99% of the water cells are actually empty space. So in one way you can say it looks like flesh and blood, but actually in reality it's water. And actually in a deeper reality it's empty space, because most of our cells are made of empty space. So it's very interesting, all these experiments and these different inquiries into the elements, into the natural world, into other forms of life. And this is something Baba didn't go into, but it wasn't really relevant 100 years ago when Baba began the yagya, but now, and also with the daddies having mostly gone in advance, I feel it's up to us somehow. It's up to our generation to serve through these mechanisms. And so I have this little machine. It's a very humble little machine. But what it does is we connect it to plants. We have some plants here. And just as Ndiritu explained that when we have a particular thought or intention, that does have an effect on the plant. So I haven't done this experiment yet, but we're going to do it together. So first I'm going to connect these electrodes to the plant. And what it does is it translates the electromagnetic energy of the plant, the photosynthesis, the life energy that is constantly going on in plants all around us all the time. It translates that into sound that we can hear. And that's very meaningful for us because we know they're alive, we know they grow, but normally we don't think about it. But when you can hear the ebb and the flow of their life energy, it's quite something. So I'm going to connect them to the different plants so you can hear the different sounds, and every plant is unique. And then we will do a meditation and let's just see. Maybe nothing will be there. Maybe the plant is on their own way, but maybe it will. So let me try. Sometimes it does also stop. We connect these little electrodes to the leaves of the plant. So let us see this little plant. May we connect these to your leaves. I don't want to interrupt them, but then it's nice to hear the uniqueness of each plant. Thank you. I always say thank you because I'm like grabbing their leaves, so I. So we'll go to this daddy flower and see what sound she makes. is in silence. So shall we now, with this beautiful daddy flower, just as we have meditation on this most beautiful flower, there is no other one like it in the entire world. This flower is completely unique, and the little face of the yellow flower is looking at you all with such love. So remember Baba, the creator spirit, and sit there as little flowers yourself, little soul flowers in the forehead, sitting there. And open your heart to Baba's love and project that love to this flower. And let us see how she sings. Om Shanti. So how did you feel? What did you think? And what was it like? isn't it?
Yes, I just wanted to say that it was stunning. I knew that plants gave off a kind of sound, but I had no idea that it would be so enjoyable, so defined, really,
Yeah.
because it's very distinct, isn't it? Each flower has a particular sound.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Where did you get that equipment, and what is it?
It's a, you can buy them online, strangely enough. It, it's a small electrical device that picks up electromagnetic waves, just like everything, electromagnetic energy in our bodies. If I hold it, it'll make the sound of my body, because my body's living. Well, I mean, it's alive because I'm in it. But, and so it translates those inaudible electromagnetic signals into audible waves, audio waves. And yeah, I mean, they're available and they're becoming popular because of this whole wave of people feeling disconnected, and they're concerned about the environment, but what to do? It's so vast, the problem, and what can I do? People are overwhelmed, and people are seeking ways to reconnect with nature through many things. Yes, it is. It is a beautiful way to reconnect with nature, to bring it a step closer. And I noticed the register of the plant when we were meditating. It went lower and it went higher. It increased the range of sounds were greater when we were meditating. And it's this is an unscientific experiment, but a very joyful one. And it just brings us that bit closer to this nature that is our companion through the entire drama. So I think now we take a break for 10 minutes, and you can have a walk and a stretch. The food cards, should we give those? So we have some little blessing cards for you, and they're quite unique, and we may use them later, but Aneta will give them to you. And then we'll come back in 10 minutes at 20 past. So just have a stretch and a break, and we'll see you back here at 20 past, and then we'll do some more and the final activity is a very enjoyable one. So see you in 10 minutes.
Hello, check.
Om Shanti. We'll come back now and do looking at diet, actually. Diet and food, which is a big part of our lives. So we thought it's a good idea to look at food, because every day we have Brahma Bhojan, agriculture every industry has to change because of climate change and resources. Agriculture is a big one, and there's a lot of pressure because people are used to eating what they eat. They don't necessarily want to change, but the pressure is that we all have to change. So we're just going to look at some of our food systems and the impact that those food systems have on the planet in terms of resources, in terms of land clearing. And, we lead very low impact lives, generally speaking, BKs. But nevertheless, it's good to think about what we eat, how we eat, and if we can, just to realise that everything we do has an impact, and what can we do? How can we continue to live according to our Brahman principles in a way that is supportive to nature? sorry, I almost forgot. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a banana. So, let's begin with this. Read your card. I'm going to read mine. And then let's just do a 1-minute meditation. And you can, I'll do mine on the banana, but you can adapt and adjust to what you are. You know, we're very creative here, so it's an opportunity to be a fruit or a vegetable. So mine is, you are incognito, gentle and softly spoken. Like the banana, your hidden softness and gentle ways brings comfort to many. So whether you're a potato, a cauliflower, an apple, just feel the appreciation of being that for a moment. I can also add the banana has a good skin, so is not so easily influenced and is highly nutritious, so can give benefit to many. You know, we can really churn about these simple things that we... So should we go on to the next slide? So this is a big slide. We have 2 big slides, actually. But it's interesting to understand the broad effect that our food systems have. It literally affects every single system in our environment. Land use, water, forest clearing, air pollution, transport, packaging, plastic, it's all involved. Livestock, I think we know, is the world's largest user of land resources. 80% of the world's agricultural land goes to feed animals who are then killed for either their meat, their milk, their eggs, their flesh, their fur, their feathers. And if we look here, I mean, we eat, well, I was going to say we eat a plant-based diet, but actually, to not go into it too much, but we have a vegetarian diet without eggs, a lacto-vegetarian diet according to our tradition. But the world has changed a lot in the last 100 years, since Baba's time, and a lot of Brahmins are now just choosing not to have any animal products. For ethical reasons, for health reasons, also for environmental reasons. And we can see here, all the vegetables are down here. And then as we start getting to the greater resources and greater impact on the environment, we reach eggs, and then fish, then the meat of birds, the meat of pigs, and then the milk of animals. It's essentially the nursing fluid of a cow for their young, or of another species for their young. And then we get up into beef, cow meat, cheese is even worse than that. And then of course we have the flesh of the animal above that. So, I mean, it's a funny thing. We know this world is not going to remain as it is. We do know that. But we live in nature for 5,000 years. We interact with the natural world. Souls, God and Matter, that wonderful book that Jagdish Bhai wrote. And we think about souls and God, but sometimes we forget about matter. And now is our life to create a loving relationship with the natural world. And and with other species. So here we see the impact of different diets. And this is a very good site, actually. I don't know if you can see, but it's called ourworldindata.org, and it has a lot of good information drawn from scientific and government studies. So you can see the lowest impact diet is the vegan diet. It just means a diet without any animal products. No red meat, dairy or poultry, people having eggs and fish, okay, it is a bit more. Those having no red meat or dairy, it's also a great improvement. But when we get up to vegetarian diets, even those that include milk, then we're seeing a greater impact. And up here we see that out of all our cropland and pasture, this huge one up the top, which is 2.89 billion hectares, almost 3 billion hectares, and yet 740 mega hectares only are used for human food. And you think about the people who are starving. And we're not going to stop Kali Yuga being Kali Yuga, but it's like Madhuban said the other day, it's we can reduce the suffering now by how we live, because everything we do has an impact on everything else. We all breathe the same air, walk on the same earth, use the same water. We won't stop the demise of Kali Yuga, but we create very good sanskaras. We create great love for our fellow human souls, also our non-human kin, our non-human sisters and brothers, and the way we engage with plants and the environment in relationship of love, as opposed to a relationship of what they can do for us. And so just to note that cropland, the human food there, such a tiny amount, and then 538 mega hectares for animal feed, and all the rest is pasture, where we graze animals who are then killed for their meat or their milk or their skin. So this is something to consider. And yeah, and this is a very good picture of some fruit and vegetables.
Om Shanti. So this is some food for your mind, and this is just touching the surface, but it's an invitation for all of us to become more conscious in our daily choices. We already have changed so much, but there may be some more changes that we can introduce to our lives, so we would live in a non-violent way and so-called sustainable way for the planet. It's still possible.
And I should have said before, actually, but I've worked in the animal protection field for a number of years. I became an animal activist, and then I worked in politics, and I've been into the slaughterhouses, and I know a lot now about this because I really wanted to inform myself. I won't go into details about anything bad, but if you'd like to know more about moving to a plant-based diet or becoming vegan, then I can do a separate session that's just information and to share what I have come to learn. If you want to, just come up and see me afterwards, and then maybe I can do a separate session.
Yes, thank you. The whole session is like that because we are not able to say everything what we would like to. So this is just invitation for those of you who are interested to come, and we can explore more together. Yes, thank you. So in this way, we'll move to the next sphere. And now let us look at water and how we can serve water. And for this, I would like to invite our brother Chandresh. Please come. Brother Chandresh is now looking after yogic farming in Tapovan. And he has invited us to visit Tapovan. So there will be a tour visit organized on the 9th of March, and everyone is welcome. We will then have very extensive information, and we will see how yogic farming is being done in different locations down the mountain. So Brother Chandresh is also looking after the training center for farmers coming from all over India to learn about not only yogic farming but also natural farming. Actually, those two things we combine. It's something else than organic farming. We speak and we share knowledge and we practice natural farming and yogic farming. If you want to learn more about it, please come on the 9th. But today, Chandresh Bhai is here to introduce a new campaign, new project, which has been inaugurated recently, and it's about conserving, protecting water. In Hindi, it's called Jal Jan Abhiyan, which means Water Conservation Education Campaign. And he will tell us what this campaign is about, but what is even more interesting, how we are going to make it happen in a practical way, on the subtle level and on the physical level. And in this way, it really will become a very good best practice that, again, we can share not only in India, but throughout the whole world. And again, it's a way to introduce in a relevant way Baba's message to everyone. So, Chandresh Bhai, please.
Om Shanti. I'm not very good in English, but I will try to convey my message. This is a new campaign launched by Yagya, and it is called Jan Jal Abhiyan. In this campaign, we will try to educate the users how we can preserve water, what are the best practical ways to conserve water, what strategies should we make, and along with that, we will try to make more than 5,000 water bodies and more than 10,000 awareness programs are going to conduct, and almost the beneficiaries are going to be more than 1 crore people. We are trying to reach at least 1 crore people to educate what are the possibilities to how we can conserve water, what are the different ways and how we can conserve water. This is Indian government's project. It's called Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. In this project, they are covering organic farming, renewable energy, water management, and all other activities by which we can make rural India a better India. So in this segment, the water management part is there, and we are going to focus on water management in this. With the help of Government of India, we are going to take this segment. Generally, this major areas of interventions are education, health, all part they are taking, but they are covering this with the holistic perception, and there where the Brahma Kumaris roles come. In this, there is a national steering committee to operate the whole project, and the chairman of this national steering committee is Dr. Vijay Bhatkarji. He is the person who invented a supercomputer in India. He was the director for IIT Delhi, and he's a very great person. He is in touch with Baba's family from last 26 years, and he met Baba also. And his vision, and he thinks that such kind of projects can be executed with the organization like Brahma Kumaris, and if Brahma Kumaris can be a part of this project, this is going to be a great initiative. And in this project, the local district administrative office and the Panchayat Raj institutions and the voluntary organization like us are together, three of them together, they are going to work. So they are working on many segments, but we will focus on water in this campaign. We know the requirement of water and how the water is used for humans, for agriculture, for industrial use, and animals and forest use. But we come to know that 89% of the water consumption is in the field of agriculture, and the water wastage is in the field of agriculture. So we have to literate the farmers, we have to more focus on the rural part of the India. If we want to conserve water, we have to focus on the we have to focus on the rural part. So okay. I don't think the slide is lights. I shall describe. I'm not getting. Yeah. It's how the water is used in the human uses, in the agriculture uses, and in the industrial use. When we see, it is 89% of the water is used in the agriculture, 5% are used for the human uses, and 6% is in the industrial use and the forest use. So if we have to make this campaign a successful campaign, we have to focus on the rural part where it covers almost 92% of the water consumption goes. So this is why we are focusing on the village development. This is the picture of where what are the water sources we have. 97% of the water is in the ocean, 2.2% is in the form of ice, only 0.7% is available in the groundwater, and surface water available is only 0.1%. The total water available with us, the surface water is only 0.1%. So we have to focus on groundwater and surface water. How exactly we are going to do this campaign is we are going to connect with the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. They have connected more than 8,000 higher educations in India, and these higher education institutes along with their students, they are going to make the survey of the village, particular village. We are going to select some villages, and this, with the help of the students, we are going to have a survey of that village. We will make the all satellite visions of that village, and what are the resources available in that village. Means what are the wells, what are the bore wells, ponds, river, canal, non-functional pipe water, what exactly the situation is there in that village. What is the water quality in that village? What are the water pollutions? And then we will focus on rainwater harvesting structures. What are the possible ways of rainwater harvesting? This is one of the possible structures. We say it crescent moon structure. It is very easy to build, but creates a very good impact. 2,000 liters of waters can be stored in these structures. In the grassland also, we can make such kind of structures. With the help of this satellite designs, we can identify what exactly where are the water bodies, what exactly we have in that village. There are some dryland strategies where we can use the drip irrigation, the sprinklers, the vertical mulching, the agroforestry, how water can be conserved by using these strategies. When we use a drip irrigation, almost 80% of the water can be saved. Instead of a flood irrigation. Yeah, one more.
I want to add one thing. We have one initiative like Ola system. You might be heard, which is an effective irrigation method where people can use the pots. And in the areas where is the low rainfall, the people use some pot and pitcher thing to irrigate their orchards. And we started this initiative here in Rajasthan and in Gujarat, and which is having more water using capacity than the drip irrigation, water use efficiency, like more than 80%. So this is the good things, and these are the dryland strategies which help the farmers beyond the water in the ponds. We have this myth, we need water in the storage, like ponds, big dams, but the nature of water is to flow, and we have to give them channel, means different ways in our land, and then it leave the land, or each and every drop of rainfall should be there where it drops, like that.
There are some, these are some designs of grassland water harvesting strategies. There are various possible ways: continuous contour trenches, percolation tanks, boundary trenches, swells. These are the structures which can easily made with the help of JCB or some such equipments. So with the help of government and with some NGOs, we can execute such things. For individual users, a rooftop rainwater harvesting is the best practice, if individuals do this, it is a good way of rainwater harvesting. We have one village in Kutch called Kanakpur, where all the households have this facility at their home, and they are harvesting a very good amount of water and using throughout the year. They are using it as a purified water. So this is what exactly, what are the possibilities of rainwater harvesting and other strategies for water harvesting. So if this is just a beginning, and with the help of Government of India, some NGOs, some higher education institutes, and with the volunteers of Brahma Kumaris, we can make the things possible. Om Shanti.
Chandresh Bhai, thank you very much. It was very good, and your enthusiasm is contagious, you know. He not only is involved in yogic farming, but now also this big water campaign, and it's really wonderful, and again, whatever we can help, we're really willing to be part of that and help in that. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, water. So what is the biggest body of water? This is a very easy question. Our ocean. And it's one ocean, not 3, 4 oceans. It's just one global, wonderful ocean. So I would like us to finish this session on water with serving an ocean. Okay? So we'll have a meditation. For translation, I will try to give some also commentary. This meditation was prepared for UN Ocean Conference, which happened in Portugal last year. So this is a new way in which the Brahma Kumaris is getting engaged in this UN service, nature service, outreach programs. Just another opportunity for a wonderful service of Baba.
I take a moment to reflect on the state of the vast ocean.
What is the state of the vast ocean?
Its health and ability to sustain life are threatened by humans.
It became unhealthy.
Who
it's not able to sustain
overexploited
life because of humans.
and poison it.
Humans overexploited and poison it.
The unlimited, generous, eternal ocean is sick now.
The ocean is sick.
With the eye of my mind, I look with deep concern and appreciation at this great wonder
Let me look
that shaped
at this
the whole
great
planet.
wonder that shaped the
Every
whole
stream,
planet.
every cloud, every raindrop comes back to it.
Every drop of water comes
I
back to
imagine
it.
I smell the ocean air. I hear the rush of wind
I can smell
across
it.
the water.
I can hear it.
I listen to the surges of the ocean as the waves roll and then break into sparkling surf nearby. I dive into the ocean.
I dive into
Below
the
the
ocean.
surface, to the underwater world,
to the underwater,
the kingdom of fish, animals, and exotic plants. Ocean nourishes everything gently. I take in the beauty and the richness of the life below the water.
the beauty and the richness of the life below the water.
Ahead of me, I see a vision of light. From high above, the rays of sun are touching the ocean bed.
The rays of sun are
I've
touching
reached
the ocean
the
bed,
place deep down, the space of absolute silence,
space of absolute
complete
silence,
stillness.
complete stillness.
I become calm and centered.
I become calm and
It's
centered.
as if I've merged into the ocean of peace.
I merge into the ocean
I
of
enjoy the
peace.
tranquility of the ocean of peace. I'm sending my gratitude, respect
So I share my
and love
gratitude,
to the
respect
ocean
and love
and its life.
with the ocean.
And now I focus on the light. I follow the light up.
And now I follow the
My
light.
consciousness is rising, opening,
My consciousness
and
is
becoming
rising.
unlimited.
I become unlimited.
The energy of the ocean responds,
And
moves
the
up,
ocean responds,
gets uplifted too.
gets uplifted.
The light from above purifies
The light from
the water
above
particles,
purifies the water,
transforms and renews the ocean. The end is the beginning,
the end is the beginning.
and the cycle continues.
The cycle continues to turn.
The ocean returns to its purity, abundance, and
The ocean
harmony.
returns to its harmony.
And I return to the activities of the surface.
And
I
I
am rested, refreshed, and
return
empowered to make a change, to
and
care for the wonder
keep my
of
determination, power to make a change for the wonder of the ocean. Om Shanti. So from the ocean to the sun. We are very fast today in our journey through and with different elements. This is just an invitation for you, actually, if you have not been, to come to India One Solar Thermal Power Plant, which is in Shantivan, and see how we can use clean, renewable and safe energy for our life. Down there is research and development project which demonstrates that it's possible to use the energy from the sun for 24-hour operation. It's very unique, and it is possible because the intention was to bring benefit to nature, not to make money. It was not short-term benefit, but it was a long-term vision of Baba himself and our Daddy Janki. And then many instruments came and made it happen with Baba's guidance and the faith of Daddy in all of us. So now I will just show you a short film, and yes, we extend the invitation for all of you to come and see by yourself and experience the wonder of sun. So we zoom in to Shantivan. And this is India One solar power plant, which is located in this beautiful area of Aravalli Mountains, the most beautiful scenery we could have imagined. It's a quite big area, and there you can see all these reflectors, 770 big reflectors. One reflector is like 60 square meters, which is a good size of a flat in Poland. It's just one, and we have 770. But the uniqueness of this power plant is the storage. Storing renewable energy is the biggest challenge in this field. And Baba's children, in cooperation with scientists and engineers, developed a way to store energy so we can produce electricity from the sun for 24 hours a day. And these reflectors are like sunflowers. They follow the sun, just like we follow Baba, they follow the sun. And then they accumulate the power from the sun via concentrating the rays of sun into one static point in the receiver, which is in front of the reflector. So this technology actually is the technology of Baba. I, the soul, follow the sun of knowledge. I take power, I change myself, and I share with others. This is exactly how this power plant works. The solar reflector is focusing on the sun. The sunlight that comes is concentrated in one point to generate power, and then this power is transforming water into steam and then into electricity. And it's been shared with so many people, 25,000 at least. And then with the whole world, because we share this technology with anyone. This is one of our flagship projects in all those different UN conferences. Wherever we go, we speak about it, and then people ask, wow, but how it's possible? And then we can explain how and who is behind it. Everything was developed, designed, fabricated, installed, erected by Brahmins in cooperation with indigenous peoples, local people from that area. So there was also a lot of capacity building, a lot of health campaign, which was accompanying the whole technical side of the project. And this is how the electricity goes to Shantivan and Manmohinivan, 24 hours a day. India One solar thermal power plant, and you are all very much welcome. Thank you. We are great, we are just on time. This is wonderful. So we have one agenda point left, but very special, very beautiful, very experiential. So Sister Tamasin will lead us through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Aneta. So now this is a real change of pace. So actually it'd be good if you could open the outside doors. We're going to get up and we're going to do some Indigenous Australian earth connection practices. Oh, yes, you can put the lights on now. Yes. You can put the lights on. So I'll just tell you a bit about what we're going to do. So, and also I have to say for the recording, this can't come in the recording because of the laws around Indigenous knowledge. So I'm from Australia and I learned from the Indigenous Australians these earth connection practices, and how they came about is this Indigenous man, he's a Gunditj Mara Gunai Kurnai man, and he was working with local Aboriginal kids. And they were like misbehaving and playing up, and he couldn't settle them down. And so he went to his elders, his uncles and his grandfathers, and said, look, these kids have real behavioural problems. What am I supposed to do? And his elders said, no, they don't have behavioural problems, they have disconnection problems. And you all in this world have disconnection problems because you've forgotten that you're part of country. And they use the word country with a capital C, meaning we're not separate to the land and water and other animals. We are of that. We are part of that. So this Aboriginal man, Jamie, he started, excuse me, I'll just move this. He began learning these connection activities from his uncles and his elders and his grandparents, and that really changed the lives of these kids. And then other people saw it and it grew, because everyone is suffering from a disconnection sickness, especially people are not off their phones, they don't know where they've come from, they've lost their ancestral track. Like people they don't feel they belong and they feel disconnected, and it's causing anxiety and disconnection, depression. There's this new term, eco-anxiety. So I'm going to take you through this series of movements. Now, how many elements do we have, do you think? Who said? 5. Okay. So according to the Aboriginal Australians, we have 14. And I wonder, if we go really far back, how many we had, how many we were aware of, because we were so in harmony with the environment. So we're going to go through a series of, I can describe it like it's a combination of a children's book, a meditation, and a yoga practice. It's very simple yoga practice. You can come in the front if you like. You will need a little bit of room, but just not too much room. It's not strenuous at all. And you're welcome to come in the front if you want. And it goes through the 14 elements. So we begin, I'll talk through them. We begin with the creator, first element, Baba, of course. The sun, the moon, earth, lightning, rain, wind, the tree, the air animal, the land animal, the water animal, man, woman, child. And the Australian Aboriginal people, they say you can't take one element out. Each relies on all the others. And so do it at your own pace. If anything's difficult, please don't do it. If you decide not to do it, you can do it as a meditation. The only thing is there'll be a little bit of squatting, but it's very easy. So we begin by just standing where we are. Ideally, we would do this outside. Sometime we will do this outside, but for now. Anyway, our feet is on cement, which is actually earth. So we are standing on Mother Earth. I am the soul landing silently in the forehead of this magnificent earthen temple, my home of this body. And so I bring my hands to the front of my body and I draw up, just scanning the body and giving thanks to the body for being my home. And then I reach up and I acknowledge the creator energy, the energy of Baba, the creator spirit. And I draw all that good creator energy. I say, thank you, Baba. And I bring that good creator energy into the heart space of my body. And then I acknowledge all the creator energy in the waters as well, all the waters over this beautiful planet. And I pull all that beautiful creative energy in the waters into my heart space. And then I take my hands down and I just imagine my hands touching the soil and then deep into the earth and below the soil and the rocks and the crystals and deep, deep into the molten core, the soft core of Mother Earth, that incredible creator energy. And I bring all that beautiful earth energy back into the heart space of my body. And now I bring my arms wide because I'm so grateful for all beings everywhere. The built environment, the non-built environment, all the animals and the plants and the birds and the people and everything. And I embrace them all. I say thank you for this incredible drama. Thank you, the creative energy of the drama. And I bring that into my heart space. And then I bring my hands down as we start to honour the sun. And we draw the shape of the sun, the big orb, the beautiful, magnificent, life-giving, warm-giving orb. And then I bring my hands halfway down to honour the autumn equinox, where day and night are half. There is equal light and dark. And then we come down to the winter solstice. It's the time of rest, regeneration, quiet, hibernation. And then after that stillness, things start to bud. We bring our arms out again, halfway, this time for the spring equinox. And things start to bud. Have you noticed that even when it's still cold, the birds will be singing and the buds are just about to burst because they know what's coming. And what's coming is the summer solstice, the brightest time of the sky, the hottest time, maximum growth, maximum warmth. So I thank the sun for the experience of day, for the experience of life. And we bring our hands down. And now we honour the moon. And it's the same shape, of course, this orb of the moon. And we turn to our left and we bring our hands in an arc to honour the waxing moon. How the moon goes from the crescent and it grows and grows and grows and begins to become full. And as we're honouring the moon, we honour the effect it has on all the waters of the planet and all the waters in our body. We're all affected by that watery moon energy. And then we bring our hands up again to honour the fullness of the moon, the bright, cool moon that gives life to the night forest. And then we turn to the right as we honour the moon as it wanes in the sky and becomes just a little sliver of light. Baba sometimes says, we're like that. We're just a crescent at the end of the cycle. And now we come to the earth. So the earth in the shape of the mountains. We honour the mountains of this earth, all the shape, different shapes of the land, the valleys. and the tectonic plates that move deep beneath the earth, that provide energy and life. And then along with that earth energy, we come up to the sky, and here we honour the lightning. And lightning happens when the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth. So we have sheet lightning. We bring our arms down to honour sheet lightning. That's where the whole sky lights up. And then we have chain lightning. We bring one arm down at a time. And then we have bolt lightning that recharges the minerals in the earth. It actually changes nitrogen into nitrates. And another great element of lightning is the ability to create fire. And again, and one more time. And this element of fire, of course, is crucial. It's crucial for taking care of country. It's crucial, one more time. It sounds nice all clapping. Taking care of country, feeding our families, looking after our homes, providing warmth. And after fire, of course, comes the coolness of the rain as the water evaporates up from the water bodies on our beautiful planet. And then we turn to the left to honour the weather patterns that come from the west. We thank you, rain. We evaporate up. We acknowledge the rain coming down from the south, and we do that by extending our hands behind us to honour those weather patterns from the south and evaporating up. And then the seasons and the weather and the rains that come from the east, they often have a very different quality than those from the west or the south. Evaporating up. And finally, the rains that meet us from the north. We thank you, rains, for bringing coolness to our lives. And then after the fire and the rain, another of nature's great gardeners, the wind. And you can be any kind of wind you like. You can be a little breeze, or you can be a gale or a tornado. And the winds are magnificent. They pick up sands from one continent and distribute them to another continent. And they pollinate, they move pollen and grass and sand and seed. And as you are the wind, you notice there's a seed, and you catch the seed. You, the wind, you catch the seed. And you gently help it land on the earth. And as the seed lands on the earth, you realize that you are the seed. I'm the seed, safe and warm in my earthen home, quiet and still. But I feel the warmth of the sun on me, and I feel the trickle of the rain, and I want to grow. So I grow and I push my little green face up through the earth. And I feel the warmth of the day. Oh, it's such a beautiful day, the warmth of the sun. And there are other trees outside, and I'm just a little sapling. And my arms, I stretch my arms out, and they're my branches. And my fingers are the leaves. And then I breathe for the world. Just sway and feel how good it is to feel my roots so securely anchored in the earth, and then the freedom of my movement on top of the earth. No tree like me. Every tree is unique. I, you, we all are so unique, the unique trees of this world. And then I bring my hands up and I marvel at my canopy. I trace my arms around my canopy and I marvel at the beauty of it. The flowers, the fruits, the leaves, the seeds. And then I bring my hands down and I notice there's a little nest. And in that nest is a tiny little bird. And that bird is growing, so I bring the nest up. I'm going to help her fly out because she's just about ready to fly. And she's growing. Oh, and she opens her wings. And then she starts to fly. And I'm the eagle. I'm the wedge-tailed eagle. It's a beautiful Australian bird. And then I put my right arm out, my right wing, and I saw and I look out over the world. I look out over Gyan, Sarovar, how beautiful it is to be soaring on the wind. My wings feeling the wind beneath them. And I flap my wings again. Oh, it's so wonderful. Such freedom to be in the sky. And then I put my left wing out and I look out over the right. I look out over my life and my past and my present and my future, my Brahman life. It's so wonderful. Oh, amazing. And 3 more times I flap my wings and enjoy being the eagle. The air animal is this element. And then as the air animal, I come and I land by a rock. And next to that rock is a land animal. And I choose the kangaroo because the kangaroo is a very important animal. Very important. They do a lot of hopping, as you might know. They do a lot of grazing, and they're very important for regenerating grasslands and for reseeding. But they also know how to look after themselves, so they stop and they have a bit of a scratch. But then they go back to work. They do lots of service, but they're good for us because they remind us to look after ourselves and also look after each other, and they take a good rest. And then it's the end of the day. They have to get up for Amrit Vela, so they're going to have a rest. And they go down, and they lie down next to a waterway. And in that waterway is the water animal. And I'm going to talk about the eel. Now, the eel is a very special water animal in Australia. The eel is a saltwater and freshwater. And when the parent eels go to give birth, they swim hundreds of kilometres away from their home waters to have their baby eels. And when they have their young, the parents leave the body. But the children, the baby eels, they know how to get back to their ancestral lands. And how do they know? Because we all have our own earth ancestry. We have it from Satyug, but even in this body, in the body of our current lives, that ancestry of this life, when we trace it back, we have our own earth ancestry. And so the eel swims back home. And now we acknowledge, we come to the element of man. And here we bring our right arm forward and our left hand back to honour the tools they've used recently, like the spear, the technology of human beings, particularly the man. And then we honour the boomerang, which is a symbol of human and nature technology when they come together. And on the other side. And then also the nets made also with natural materials, the ability of humans to create technology with nature. Then they bring their products back to camp, and there are the women, and the women are symbolised with the digging stick, because the Aboriginal women in Australia, they're always chatting and digging and chatting, and they use the digging stick to unearth the native yams and other native foods and herbs and, I can't remember what they're called, but other native foods. They also make their baskets, and they use the baskets to pick the native plums, native fruits, mushrooms, and then they bring everything back for the kids. Whoa! And then the kids all come running, and the women pick up the kids. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Anyway, they're holding the kids, and the children, they're laughing and they're playing, and they're so happy to see their mums and their aunties and their grandmothers. Oh, but they're getting a bit big, so we have to let them go for a bit. And we're the child. Of course, we're God's child. We're the child of the future. We're the ancestors as well. So as the child, we take a swim through the water of life. It's okay, right? It's good. And as we grow, we become more confident. Yeah, it feels good, you know. I've got a connection with all those elements that have come before, and I feel good. I've grown up right, and I've had good guidance. So now that I'm really out in the river of life, I look out to my ancestors and I throw the water of life on them to thank them. Thank you for teaching me everything, the daddies and everyone and all of the ancestors of our current birth. Thank you, and our grandparents and our friends and everyone in this room. Throw the water of life on each other. And then take a big scoop and throw the water of life over yourself. And feel as that cool water of life just dribbles down you, so cool and refreshing. So grateful to be who I am and where I am, right here and right now. I am the child, the 14th element, the final element. And in my mind, I meet with the first element, the Creator. And I acknowledge and thank the Creator and all of the 14 elements. And I understand, standing here, how I wish to live in harmony with myself, in harmony with all beings, and in harmony with nature. Om Shanti. Shanti. So that's just I think, a beautiful way of connecting us with the elements and bringing out our child. And I'm never quite sure what to say after that, because it seems to all be said, but so, Om Shanti. What's next? Okay, so this was a bit dependent on time, but I think we have time. So, with the 14 elements that we did, there may be one that you particularly liked, were particularly drawn to, were particularly touched by. So, Aneta is handing around some coloured pieces of paper, and I'd like you to, whatever element touched you, just to write a 1 or 2 line blessing about it. It can follow the same pattern as the potato banana ones, if you like. In your own words, whatever you want to write. And once you've written it, just exchange it with the person next to you. And if you need a pen, if you need something to write with, can you put up your hand and we'll, or maybe you've all got. So we'll just take a few minutes to do that, and then we'll finish with a moment of silence. Take another 3 or 4 minutes.